All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are finally, at long last, back to Deadlands. It's been a very long time since we last played, but we finally get back to it tonight. Unfortunately, Adam's not here because he said some very hurtful things to all of us, and we have decided to kick him out of the group permanently. And if we ever see him in real life, we're going to physically kick him too. So I think Chuck, Jeremy, you guys are on that, I think.
I'm gonna go see him on Thursday, so I gotta have my kicking shoes on.
Yes, please put your kicking shoes on, like pointed, steel-toed. Those would be great. So,
Nice.
but now we're just kidding. Adam's doing more important things than this little stream. So he double booked, and we are going to do whatever we can to get his character killed while he's gone, because that's how we roll. Thank you for the sub to Twitch. Melissa, again, you're contractually obligated to do that, so I'm not thanking you.
Still throwing it up there for credit.
And hey, Ashley. Hey, John. Okay, why don't we do some introductions of characters, because it's been so long. Let's just sort of refresh our memories who everybody is, and then I'll dig into the summary of where you last were, and we can get started. So, Jeremy, who are you playing?
Well, I'm going to be playing Dr. Byron Cuspid, just a very simple, down-to-earth dentist. I'm here to heal people and take care of them. That's all. Nothing else to be concerned with.
Yes, and you do such a great job of that as well. Yeah. And I heard as I was walking away before that you were talking about what you want to get, like with your advance if you finish the act tonight. Okay, I'm very excited for that. That's a really good idea. I mean, I'm gonna regret it instantly.
That's gonna kill you.
But
I
think it sounds cool. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll get Cuspid tonight. Probably not. Next up, we got Matt. Matt, tell us about Jack Dawson.
Good day. I'm Jack Dawson from the Great White North, and I'm here to protect these hosers from all kinds of trouble and shenanigans that they may encounter out here on the plains. I look after my friends, eh?
I really enjoy how you say hosers. I think that's pretty perfect.
Nobody says hosers.
No, you do, though. Praise Jack. Okay.
Praise
Let's
Jack.
see. Eustace is not here, so we'll move on over to John Ives, father figure of little Timmy. Tell us about John Ives there, Chuck.
I'm John Ives. I'm the gunslinger and strange meat aficionado of the group. And I've pawned off little Timmy on everyone else here in the party, because if he kept under me, I was gonna have to put him down.
I mean, it's going really well no matter who's in charge. Let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Eustace took over. That didn't go well. I think Cuspid took a turn. That didn't go well. I don't know. I think the last we saw, the preacher guy you guys found was in charge. So clearly he'll be a Satanist soon. So it'll go weird for him. Yeah,
Just drink more.
Yeah, exactly. He had all the gin. All right. And then finally, we've got Anna Tabo. So tell us about Anna there, Melissa.
So Anna is our Wrangler ranch hand. She's got a pretty kick-ass horse. She's equally kick-ass at harmonica playing, and wondering what the hell everybody else is up to.
Cue the harmonica.
I totally forgot about the harmonica. It's been so long. I do have this harmonica. There it is.
Yay.
Thank you, Matt. I totally forgot about it. I'm gonna hit the second one just because, I have like 4 different harmonica tracks from Tabletop Audio. It's awesome. And then we could do the piano. So sorry. And then this is a good one too. Remember that one?
Hey,
Yeah,
Dr.
there we go.
Cuspid.
Okay. So yeah, it's coming back to me. I'm remembering now everything. This is great. All right. So it's been a long time. The last time we played was on June 13th, which was over a month ago. And on that night, so this is basically a summary of where we are for the past few weeks in terms of the journey. So you made it through Trincheras Pass. You befriended a Comanche raider, if you recall. They led you into Colorado. You then negotiated travel across the land of these brothers called the Farley brothers, who kind of let you across. You also had that strange encounter with the burnt out sack of the body that was inside of it. That was done by people who were trying to make it seem like it was Comanche raiders, but it clearly wasn't. You learned from those brothers that there is a raid group nearby, like in the area, that's kind of plaguing the various towns and the territories of the area. It was led by someone by the name of Colonel Socrates Galt. And you also heard that he's backed by Black River, which is one of the railroad corporations, and specifically they are kind of reinforced by Wichita witches, which are witches, very powerful. And so because of that, people are just like afraid to confront him, and they don't want to like bring down the ire of Black River. So like he's just kind of been running ramshot over everything. So yeah, so now you all eventually you made camp in this like box canyon, and unfortunately you did somewhat get entwined in some of Galt's business. Bill Sutter, leader of the herd, the whole Lazy S, he sent 2 cowpokes, including Wayland Fontaine, to a nearby town of Dogleg just to kind of inquire about some resupply, and they didn't come back. So then Bill sent you all to go kind of take a look at it. While they were there, Lazy S, they were actually roughed up, Wayland Fontaine and stuff. They were roughed up and they were thrown into jail by the town marshal, Dalton Wilcott. And then you all arrived and you learned that Wilcott, the marshal, was actually on Galt's payroll, and that the town was basically forced to acquiesce to Wilcott due to all of Galt's connections to the Black River. That's why everyone's just scared and they don't want to deal with it. And they're afraid of like ruffling too many feathers, and they're also afraid of having people who are coming through ruffle too many feathers, because then it leaves them here to deal with it, right? So you all got into a altercation with Wilcott and his goons outside the Dogleg Saloon. I think the saloon was called Boston's, and it was basically around sunset. And you got into a fight, and I killed him, killed a couple of his goons. And on the bright side, you were able to actually find your missing cowboys in the locked jail who were roughed up, but they were living. And that's where we left off. If that sounds vaguely familiar. So what we'll say is, I'll get some little music going. What we'll say is that you kind of meet up with Fontaine. He kind of fills you in on a lot of what I just said, or kind of reinforces things you've already known. I know, Anna, you had befriended sort of this young girl, and you were going to help out her father. We can say that happened. Yep. And I figure what we'll do is we'll pick up on you all. Well, actually, I'll give you the option. Would you all want to head back to camp in the night, because it is nighttime, or would you want to head back in the morning? So you have that kind of option.
So stay in the town overnight?
Yeah. Do you want to stay in the town knowing that you just killed a couple of these people? Or do you want to head back?
Yeah.
I would want to head back at night to ensure that our folks are safe back at the ranch after what we just did.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with
Not the
that.
ranch,
Yeah.
the herd.
Sure. Okay.
As much as I hate traveling out at night, that's a better option than getting murdered in our sleep by angry goons.
Yeah, I think it would take on just a bit of time to try to help do some healing with Adelaide's dad, but she'd be ready to go after that.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about rolling that too much. You can tell, like, he, much like Walton, he got roughed up. You can tell that he was roughed up, probably a broken bone. I think it was his leg that he kind of got mangled, and you're able to sort of maybe set the bone, or maybe Cuspid even comes by to help, and you're kind of able to get him back on the mend. Was there anything you all wanted to do in the town before you left, or do we want to just travel back?
I would take a moment to write down that list of strange items being procured. There seems to likely be another person of new science around here.
Yeah, so you discovered, Cuspid, in Jen's general store, that there is a proprietor. The proprietor, I said, probably mentioned this, that there was an advertisement on the side that kind of made the teeth clattering kind of go off, where they were essentially asking for rare ores and metals. And they are I'll tell you what. Roll like an occult test. How about that?
Oh, a cult? I think I have a cult.
Hmm?
I do have a cult.
I think so. Yeah.
Excellent.
Would I be able to roll occult as well?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, Cuspid. Oh, I thought it was like a. I thought it was 2 1s for a second. I got excited.
Could have been fun.
Yeah.
Could have been fun.
Okay, so Cuspid, you probably don't necessarily put it together. Maybe it's the clattering of the teeth that's maybe distracting you a little bit. But if Dawson, if you take a look at this advertisement, you can see that the metals, the ores, they're not the types that are used for like proper industry. Like they're not like the types of things that you would expect to see in sort of a benign construction of tools and equipment and things like that. Likely, it's the type of stuff that, you know, maybe in your past, maybe in Jack's past, he's encountered a metal mage before. And this kind of gives you that vibe that this is somebody who is looking to use like these rare alloys to sort of reinforce some of the sort of that occult metallurgy that they probably are tapping into.
I'll make Cuspid aware. There's no regular metal here. This is bad mojo mumbo jumbo. We should be careful.
Well, then, I believe I'll take a copy of this with me for further study then.
If you grab it off the board in the general store, the woman who runs the place, she'll be like, you might, would you mind leaving that? I wouldn't want Professor Brass to see that it's missing, and he might get. Yeah, Professor Brass. He's the one who posted that.
Delightful. Of course, I'll put it out. I'll simply write down the list of ingredients. I'm terribly sorry for being so rude.
It's just he seems like a nice man on the surface, but you can tell when you talk to him for more than a minute or two that, you know, he's liable to go off the edge at any moment, and I don't know if he would appreciate having to resupply my advertisement on the wall there. That's all.
What a terrible thing. I can only imagine how uncomfortable it would be to be around somebody who only had a veneer of friendliness to them.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not fun, I'll tell you that, but, you know, we smile, we nod, and hope that whenever he and all the other Galt's men come barging through, that they're not here all that long, you know.
I see. So he is also employed with the.
Oh yeah. There's a whole crew of them. He Galt recruits from what I heard, he's got some strange lieutenants or something like that. You know, very devious folk and stuff. There used to be wanted posters around here, but Wilcott took them down.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I'm terribly sorry. That was incredibly rude of me. I was excited to read this list.
It's okay. No, it's fine. I understand. And she kind of looks out the window and is like, y'all gonna do something with them bodies, or is that gonna be us that's taking care of that?
Well, actually, thank you for reminding me. Dr. Cuspid will walk outside and start pulling out teeth.
As you pull the teeth, I'll start putting them on a wagon. I'll start loading them up, piling them up.
All right, fair enough.
Anna's brownie. She'll help out.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm still
Actually,
pretty hurt. I ain't
Anna's
helping,
not there,
but I'll watch.
actually.
Okay. Yeah, Anna's over by, I think it was Hazel and Adeline's home, the Jackson's home. Okay. Several broken bones in a fight. And I'll say this, Anna, like you get from him, like if you start asking questions, like he got into a fight with a very, very angry Irishman by the name of Johnny Croker. And that seems to be like the source of this. Short, stocky, bald man with a very big and bushy mustache that kind of goes all the way up and around his ears, and he does not like to be reminded of his stature.
And did you remind him of his stature?
Well, not directly. I just asked him if I could grab something off the top shelf of the general store for him, and then he got just completely out of control, and he started hitting me and things, and there ain't no way he was going to reach it, though.
That does seem a bit uncalled for. Is he also with Galt's?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Galt like has a predilection for the violent and the insane, I think. You got a whole crew of folk. There's them gunslingers, and then there's that one, I don't know, what do they call them? Shaman or something? I don't know. He's got some, from Louisiana, he's got some stupid name. Not, well, he's got a name. I didn't say stupid. Don't tell anyone I said his name was stupid.
And we don't know the name, right?
Oh, I know it. It means Randy, but, like, he prefers to go by Rawhide for some reason.
Oh.
But yeah, they come by every now and then, and I don't know, they have some sort of conversations with the marshal, he says kind of sarcastically, and then they move on. Or sometimes they stay a little long and get a little liquored up over in Boston's, and suddenly they're here a little bit longer, and I have a broken leg, and other folks get cut in the face, and all those types of things.
Yeah, we ruffled a few feathers in our time in town.
Oh. Well, I did hear the gunshots go off. I just assumed it was another of them coming in doing a round, but I mean...
No, that was us.
Just make sure you do something with them bodies. I don't want them coming by and asking questions or something, you know?
And she sort of looks off to the side, and she can picture exactly what's going on right now with those bodies. Yeah.
we can flash sideways. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're being looked after.
Okay. Well, we'll have to just find some way to assuage Galt when he comes rolling through again. I'm sure.
I don't think we have a problem if you sharing the truth with them.
Well, appreciate that. I probably was going to do that anyway if it meant not getting another beating. No offense is intended. I do appreciate the patch up, but we got to live here once y'all leave.
We've had a few such situations as we come through. We try to assist when we can. Sometimes that makes it worse. Sometimes we hope it helps a little bit, but we took a few of theirs out, and feel free to have them follow us if they'd like.
Well, I'm sure they already know where y'all are at. Don't worry. Got eyes and ears all over the territory. Anyway, thank you for the patch up, ma'am, and you might want to hustle out of town so we don't gotta get into uncomfortable conversations.
I'll do a quick assist with your little one in the barn, make sure all the horses are looked after, and I'll be on my way.
Appreciate that, ma'am. So we say you can do that, Cuspid, you pull the teeth. Dawson, you get the bodies loaded up on the wagon. Eyes, was there anything you wanted to do before we left?
No, probably just keeping an eye out over the wagon work. I've still got some injuries on me, so I'm avoiding any.
Yeah.
Heavy
you still
labor.
I think he's got two wounds left.
Yeah,
and I should attend to that. I apologize. It's been long enough. I'd forgotten you were still injured.
It's all right. I earned these shots.
No, I'm terribly sorry. I let myself get preoccupied a bit. Let me take a look after you here for just a moment. That would take care of one.
Yeah, and so while you guys are doing that, like a couple townsfolk will come out, inspect what's going on, and you can see many of them look a little frightened at what's happened here. A few of them even probably shout out some Some, why'd you gotta go and poke the damn bear like that? And others are just like, good riddance, and spit on the dead corpse of Dalton Wilcott and everything. So there's like a mix of reactions, but they all kind of get into the habit of like hustling away, like, we didn't see nothing kind of deal. All right. So you got the one. And yeah, you you get on the wagon and you start heading back. You got Walton and the other ranch hand with you, and so there's 6 of you plus Eustace, we'll say, is still there, obviously. So there's 7, and you start heading back through the night. It's a ways, so it takes like basically almost a whole night as you guys are pushing back. And I'll say, go ahead and roll, what is it? Vigor, I think it's a vigor test. And just to kind of keep from getting fatigue as you're kind of pushing through the night. Keeping sleep at bay, that kind of thing. All right. Looks like everyone's pretty good. Yeah. Oh my.
Oh no.
At
Right when you
night.
say that.
Oh no.
Oh, goodness. What is the... I wonder if there is some sort of rule for crit fails. I don't know. I think you might. I think we just say you...
Trampled, clearly.
Well, no, this is
Soil
Falls
just-
off the wagon, goes under the wheel.
Right, exactly.
yeah, like it decapitates. We saw that in that Yellowstone thing. It's just like they fall down, cut you. You're dead. You're dead. Sorry, Chuck, you're dead.
Yeah. Just wood wheel right over you.
We'll say on the way back between the wounds and between the night travel, like we'll say that this is going to sort of result in an exhausted state for you. So, so instead of just 1 fatigue, take 2. And so by the time like the sun's starting to come up and you're getting closer to the box cannon, like you can see when you look over at the wagon, eyes is kind of drifting off and his head's kind of bobbing, slapping against the side of the wagon in the back. As you guys start veering over top of the ridge, you can kind of see from a ways there's those very foretelling plumes of like gray smoke here and there coming up from the box canyon where your herd was left. And as you come over the rise and you look down, you can instantly tell there has been trouble here throughout the night. Where there used to have thousands of steer and cattle, you actually only see a handful that are just kind of moving around here and there, wandering. One of them maybe comes up and passes by you all like it's traveling in some random other direction, but you see no signs of like your full herd. The chuck wagon is gone, and you see that there's bodies all over the place of people you've been working with. When you get a little closer, you notice that there's Abigail, Luke, and a few other folks. You can see Grimy is there, and a couple other folks that maybe didn't have as much of a connection with. But as you're getting close, like Abby and Luke kind of turn and they see you and they kind of rush over. And Abby is just completely frantic. She's like, "Damn, freaking Galt's raiders struck like an hour after y'all left. We put up a fight, but we're just too many of them. They're like dozens, and he's had like a little army basically come on. I mean, a few of us." She kind of points off in the distance. "We rallied up over there, stand of cottonwoods over there, but Galt just ignored us, and they just took everything. They took Bill, took Javier, they took a couple of her folk," and kind of looks to you, Ives. "They took the boys. They got Timmy. They got Franklin.
They took him alive?
Yeah, and last we saw them, they took the wagon. They took the preacher's wagon, and they took the chuck wagon and kind of drove them off. The preacher tried, but someone picked up one of his gin bottles and just smashed it across his face and just knocked him out right in the back of the wagon." And you can tell, like as Luke's walking up, you can see he's got this grim look on his face. He's like, "Yeah, they got a few of us. Old Calloway took one right between the eyes. He ain't no more. Stinky Pete got trampled. And he kind of references a few other folk, and little Mikey over there. And you can see it's not so much little Mikey as it is a very big guy. It's one of those inverse names. Well, it took them about 4 or 5 bullets to take him down, but they took him down. And then, I don't know, Javier's niece. Well, you can see what happened to her. And so, like, there's just, like, 4 of the people that you've been, 4 of the people that you've been traveling with are just, like, they've been kind of laid out in these kind of neat areas. Like, they're trying to tend to the bodies and such. And you can tell that there's plenty of other people that are also milling about, like Grimey's there, a couple others are there, and all of them are wounded. You can see they're bleeding, they're tired. You can see a couple of them have, like, bullet wounds in here that they're nursing, but, like, flesh wounds, nothing necessarily too serious. But yeah, this is what you see as you arrive.
Well, which direction?
Which way they go, eh?
Yeah, and, like, they just pointed out, and you can kind of tell, there's 1,000 cattle, and there's, like, this muddy, churned up earth. It doesn't even take a roll. Like, you can see the path they travel, kind of this northeasterly direction. And, like, you can say, like Abby gets like, now that's the type of question. She kind of gives a dirty look over at Luke. That's what I want to hear. Let's get going. I'm ready to go. She's like getting her guns ready. She's got like a rifle out. And Luke is like, all right, hang on. Now, I've known Bill just as long as the rest of y'all, or longer than the rest of y'all, but that son of a bitch Galt's got more than 30 shooters out there, okay? I know y'all tough shit, and that's great and all, but, I mean, that's too much even for y'all. I think we need to get some reinforcements. Now, there's another town a little ways yonder, and we can find ourselves maybe some reinforcements. A little place called Exposition. We can head there. And, like, you can see that Abby and Luke start fighting over this. Like Abby wants to go now. Luke wants to go and get reinforcements. And and they're both kind of like going at it for like just shouting at each other to the point it's getting kind of personal and vicious at a certain court.
Now, I understand your point, and the city of Exposition is likely very useful, but they have children, and we've just witnessed their works in that town, and I do not trust the livelihood of those children or others that they have taken for very long.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The longer we wait, the more likely it is they ain't alive when we get there.
But we aren't going to do them much good if it's just us that go riding on the, I mean, numbers are numbers. And I mean, we can have all the good intention in the world, but they got more guns than we got guns. We're not saving the kids anyway.
Do we have dynamite?
I was just thinking that, man. Yeah. I picked up some dynamite.
Go back to town and get some dynamite.
Let's see.
Something like dynamite? That's got a little more strategy and planning behind it. Might be more useful.
It's tough to say our friend here could make a ride over to the city while we're doing this.
How far away is it to Exposition?
About a 6-hour ride, I think. Maybe.
That's too long. Too long.
How long ago were they taken?
I mean, it happened middle of the night, a couple hours after y'all left. It was over.
Why don't you all go to Exposition, get some backup, and we will go see what we can scout out.
I like that idea.
They both kind of look at you. Think you're good enough that, like, man? And they kind of like stare at each other and like,
Jack Dawson just smiles and it's like, ding! His teeth.
Impeccable.
Yep. Tip of the hat, my lady.
We will at least go in that direction and make sure that their comings goings are known. We'll formulate a plan.
All right, Abs, I'm going to have my little friend come over there and bite you for a moment.
All right, I can handle it.
So I did regular medicine earlier, now we'll do...
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
That's better.
So you're healed up, and then I'll do some relief on you as well. We don't need you tired.
Yes.
That would be fantastic, yeah.
That is true. 2 points fatigue. That should do Does it do one, or do you need to get a raise?
It just does one. I didn't get a raise. Unfortunately, I wish I'd gotten the explosion on that one. But still, no wounds and 1 fatigue gone.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Right.
I just have to shoot careful.
So Luke and Abby are like, yeah, all right, if you think you all can handle it. You can tell Luke's just shaking his head like, just a bunch of mad dogs are just chasing wagons and wouldn't know what to do when you catch up with them. That's all it is. Well, we're going to go get some help so that when you all die, there's folks that can come on in and do the job that you were sent to. He kind of turns his horse and starts, come on, Abby, let's go. She looks at you all and she's like, bring them back, right? And if it's too much, you can come back too, and we'll reconsider next steps, right?
We could.
Yeah.
But we won't.
Why do I get a feeling this is a goodbye?
And we'll be just fine. Take some looks. If we see a good place to strike, we'll hit it. And all else fails, we gather information. So when you show up with reinforcements, we know where to put them.
Yeah, we'll kind of plan a meeting up point that's not here, but kind of in the direction,
I mean, it's still going to be for them like half a day at least at minimum, because it's 6 hours there, roughly 6 hours back, and then however long it takes them to convince whoever is in the town of Exposition to like get on board. So
how long has it been since we found the rocket pack?
Let's see. The rocket pack was down in New Mexico, so it's been weeks, really.
Weeks. Is there any chance that there's been a chance to moderately repair it?
I mean, like you would have had downtime at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least one thought comes to mind for me. If we can find a place where there's a large gathering of them and we're fairly certain the children aren't there, we could basically send this in as a improvised missile.
I like that.
Okay.
Just like intentionally poke a hole into the fuel. Send it off.
All right. So then Luke and Abby, they start heading out. The others are kind of tending to graves of those who died. You see a few people are trying to round up the stray steer that didn't go along with the herd, and you all follow this huge tracks of this herd heading out to the northeast. No roll required. It's very obvious the path that it's heading. It's as you're riding, it's not immediate. Like, you don't get there right away. You realize like a couple hours pass, you're still following the trail. A couple more hours pass, you're still following the trail, and most of the day actually goes by, where it's kind of nearing sunset by the time like you can see that there's sort of a change to the scenery a bit. And yeah, you approach, you start to see what looks like campfire smoke and such. You come to this canyon, very similar, like this kind of box canyoned area, very steep walls, and you would probably surmise, like from a distance, that's more or less where they probably have been set up. So we'll say you all are about a half mile out from that spot, and so I'll say. And it's sunset, so the sun is coming down. You got maybe 45 minutes of light left. And what do you all want to do? How do you want to handle this?
Stay out of sight till the sun goes down, I would think.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's try and observe if we can figure out where they would have placed the children or others they've taken. And it wouldn't hurt to possibly see if there's another area of their camp that we could cause a distraction. Hopefully we could get them to go chasing sounds in one direction while we go off in the other.
I like that. Yeah. Get as close as we can. There high ground around here?
Yeah, there's very steep canyon walls that kind of surround this area. It's somewhat like the canyon tops, like they have the very top. You can tell like there's some forestation up there, but it looks like within the canyon itself, it's a fairly dry area. like remember we're in Colorado, so there's a decent
Yeah.
amount of green here and there. But yeah, it's fairly high up. But it looks like if you can kind of take a look at the tracks, like it's more than likely they do the same thing you all do, which is you try to, like, whenever you're staying for a decent amount of time, you find a place to kind of keep them, and then, you know, to keep the herd from kind of wandering too far. So that's what you're at.
So while we got a little bit of light, what do you say we try and climb this thing? Look down from above.
I agree.
That's a good idea.
Do the boys tend to wear belts?
Belts.
No, it's an odd question.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50. I mean, I guess 50-50 at high or low.
High.
Okay. They do, in fact, wear some kind of belts, yeah.
Perhaps instead of using the rocket pack as a improvised explosive, instead I might manufacture a couple of hooks to place upon the sides. So instead of taking on the whole camp, we just get in, hook their belts onto this thing, and we rocket out of there. Or at least one of us would need to do so.
Well, that gets us the boys, but that doesn't get us the rest that we're taking.
Doesn't get us boss man.
Or the
Okay,
herd.
fair enough.
Yeah. You know, I think our biggest weapon down there right now is going to be that herd.
Mm.
Yeah, so just to keep track, the people that they have taken that you believe are captured: Bill, Javier, the Reverend, Francesca, Franklin, and Little Timmy. Those are the people that aren't accounted for amongst the dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Okay,
that
so
I dislike your idea. It just seems like the lifting power is a little bit less than the number of folks we got missing.
I sometimes get tunnel vision. I was only thinking of the children, but that's a good point. So back to explosive it is.
Back to explosive, yeah.
And
So, yeah.
or spooking the steers and letting their sheer numbers overwhelm there.
So why don't we do this? So you guys are a ways away, so you don't really see anything yet. And so you did talk about possibly doing some scouting. Do you want to do this before the sun comes down, or you want to wait till the sun comes
I
down?
do.
Or, okay.
I want
I want to do some
yeah.
scouting.
All right. So anybody who's getting closer, I'm assuming you're leaving your horses behind. Like is
Yeah.
that right, to try to approach them stealthily? Okay.
Yeah.
So whoever is approaching, go ahead and roll stealth. As you approach the camp.
That's a 4.
Okay, and this is, again, it's gonna be contested versus basically their scouts. Like you imagine they more than likely have some sort of sentries.
Where are we at? Okay.
I'm gonna
Let's see how
go
badly I
ahead
botched this.
and re-roll.
Yeah, I don't want to fail that.
Yeah, same
Okay.
thing.
Oh no.
Okay.
Yep, just not happening.
Okay. I think we have all but one pass, and we've got, I think, Jack, you're the only one with a race.
Yeah.
All right. So are you trying to sneak up to one of these canyon walls to try to climb up? Is that what the plan was?
That was my thought, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, you managed to traverse the half mile without much difficulty. It doesn't look like they have any sentries too far out from the canyon itself. And you kind of get to the base of, we'll call it the eastern canyon, the eastern walls. Okay. And picture it like a horseshoe, essentially, with like the northern part of the horseshoe is kind of like the wrap around of the canyon. You guys are on kind of the eastern wall. You notice immediately that the initial, from what you can tell, at least a couple hundred yards of the entranceway from like where like the two legs of the canyon walls are, you don't see anything. So like they're probably recessed pretty far back, and the canyon walls are 100+ feet in height. And you can see scattered bits of brush here and there. It's not the most. Again, it's not the most. It's not overgrown the most. You don't see any signs of like streams or lakes or anything like that. But there are some decent places for you to kind of sneak around to. Ives, you wanted to start climbing, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Anybody who's doing that climbing, trying to climb up this wall, go ahead and roll that athletics test. If you're not doing that, if you're sneaking somewhere else, if you want to go into the canyon further, let me know.
Can I go into the canyon further?
Yeah.
I would assume I'll be sticking with Mr. Jack there.
Okay. So Cuspid and Jack are going into the canyon. Anna and Eyes are climbing up the walls.
Always split the party.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, a couple things happen. Anna, Ives, you two start climbing. No issues really until about halfway up. We see Ives just begin to kind of slip and fall here and there. He's just like the exhaustion. It's like it's hard to kind of get yourself pulled up. Anna, you look back, you see him there, and at a certain point, you see he kind of loses his grip, and he just kind of tumbles down a bit, lands on this ledge. I'll say this. Go ahead and take. We'll do like a point of fatigue, like bumps and bruises, as opposed to like full on fall damage. And so we'll say point of fatigue as you just kind of slam down. You actually can roll a vigor test if you want to see if you can prevent this. So we'll just treat it as bumps and bruises for now.
Got 4.
There you go.
It's nothing too. It's more embarrassing than anything as you look up and Anna's like the rest of the way up. You can see a couple scrapes and things here and there. Nothing that's going to take too long to heal, and you've had far worse. But it does delay you a bit. Anna, you get to the top, no issues. You look around, and you do in fact see that there appear to be some shooters on the ridge. Like you can, as you climb up, kind of along the interior of the ridge, like hanging out by a couple of these trees and brush. There are some shooters that are kind of hanging out. There's 2 of them, but they're not right next to each other. You can see that they're a good 40 feet, 50 feet or so between each other. There's also 2 more on the opposite side of you can see from up here. It is dusk, so it's getting a little bit darker, and there's enough brush around here that you can kind of hide under before they see. But there are at least 4 shooters, 2 on your side, 2 on the other side.
Okay.
Down in the canyon, Jack and Cuspid, you get a little closer. You can see from a distance that there's this. It looks like they've run a heavy rope from one side of the canyon to the other, and you can see that on the opposite side of it, there's your herd. And this rope thing is common. Like, you all do it too. And it's the idea you kind of just keep them from leaving as best they can. Some cows would be a little bit more adventurous than others, but for the most part, they'll kind of move up to that rope and then they'll kind of back away from it. And it kind of keeps them in place. That's really the only thing that seems to be keeping them in. You do see, as it's much darker within the canyon than it is above, as the sun has gone down, and so it's much darker in here, but you can see the flickering of firelight. So there's likely going to be there's probably some campfires and tents and things around. Why don't both of you roll a notice test? Okay, so with successes, so both of you got successes, you notice that at the very back of the canyon, there looks to be this sort of winding kind of switchback path that goes up and into the canyon wall, as if it's kind of ascending up, and you can see what looks like here and there, like there's the vague contours of structures up there, like it's probably some like old, maybe a logging cabin or something like that that's kind of hidden up there. You can't really make it out too well, but you can kind of see some smoke coming up, and you can kind of see the roof a little bit, but it's kind of hard to see. So it looks like, from what you can tell down here, like there's the big old herd on the ground. There's however many people that you can't really see from here, but there's however many people that are on the ground with the herd, and it looks like there's probably more that are further up towards the rise there where the cabin is. Now, as the two of you are doing this, and I'll say, as Anna, you're looking around, you look across the way, Anna, and you can see one of the shooters on the other side of the canyon suddenly looks down and calls out something, and you see he lowers his rifle and he shoots. This is because they notice Cuspid.
It wasn't the bright red jacket.
It was not the bright red jacket. Let me pull up them. Seagull's crew.
Did we tell you to turn that inside out before we came over?
Let's see. Hang on, where did I put them? There they are. Okay. So this is gonna be. Yeah, so it's just a one shot. Only one of them notices you. I am gonna give him the drop for this though, as.
Where the setting sun reflects off of that metal on Dawson's jacket there that I just noticed on your token picture.
But it's a 1, so the gunfire goes out, and Cuspid and Dawson, you see like the rock of the canyon wall next to you just explode, dirt come flying down. But now echoing throughout the canyon is the sound of like a Winchester rifle just echoing here, and it immediately gets the notice of all of the other snipers up here, these riflemen. Anna, you can see that the other two, like there were two on your side that were kind of sitting down. You can see they were smoking or drinking or something like that, but they're quickly kind of standing up and they're getting ready to shoot. So is the one on the other side. John, I'm going to say, because you're a little behind, you're not up yet, but you hear the gun go off. What do you all want to do? How do you want to handle this?
I want to scramble up.
Okay. So you're just, that's no problem.
Yeah.
What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to draw my Winchester 76 and kind of take cover. Is there a rock or something I can kind of
There's
get behind or go next to?
There's plenty of stuff down here you can get to, but you do know you're kind of like fish in a barrel, and also you know that there's 30 plus shooters somewhere on the other side of that stuff right there. But you get down for the immediate issue. Cuspid, what do you want to do?
Just making sure that she's got good cover where she's at.
They don't even seem to notice you. They don't seem to notice you at all, because like they're looking down at the canyon itself, and they're shooting at what you would know is probably Cuspid and Dawson, and you climbed up the backside, like the eastern side of it, you and Ives, so they don't even know you're up here. But the gunshot did go off. So Cuspid, what do you want to do?
Jack, what do you think? Bluetooth field, or should I sow chaos?
I'll always go for chaos.
Always go for chaos. Now, there's a lot of beeves right here, and I have this trusty little rocket pack that can shoot out flames. And do you know what cows really hate? They hate fire. So I'm going to do little gusts of fire out of the back, but just small controlled bursts to just get them nicely freaked out, and hopefully running in the opposite direction to have them trample.
Okay. So you're getting the flame going. I mean, weird science. I'm sure it shouldn't be difficult for you.
Okay.
But since it's under pressure to get it done.
Come on.
Oh, dear. I love this. This is great. This is one of them nights. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, we got one Benny left.
You quickly
We still have
jury.
audience, Benny.
Oh, shut up,
Okay.
Alyssa. No, those are entirely expired. 42 days? Come on, man. They're like eggs. They're dead. They're not good anymore. Okay, so you jury rig the jetpack, and you see just this burst, this spray of fuel just comes out, and you can see it doesn't quite ignite the rope, but it definitely gets right up against the rope, and all of a sudden these cows begin to get extraordinarily unsettled, we'll say. Jack, they're starting. You can see them starting to go. Some of them are pushing against the other sides of the rope. Others are kind of backing up into the back of the canyon. You start hearing the sounds of people shouting. So it's certainly alerted some of these other people. Okay, so what I think we'll do. Let's do the dramatic task, because this is so dramatic task is different from a quick encounter in that like there's going to be an order to this, and very bad things could potentially happen. Like whereas quick encounter, like it's not necessarily like the end of the world. It's more narrative. But there's 30 plus shooters here and some pretty creepy people. So
There's
we're going to do
stakes here.
Yeah. So let me see. Eustace is not here. So let me add you all to I'm just gonna put you in initiative just so I can deal the cards. So, all right. So so everyone, we know our positions. You know where you're at. Everything's fine. But let me walk you through if you've forgotten how dramatic tasks work. But basically, A dramatic task. We're going to set it difficulty. There's 4 of you. You're trying to essentially sow chaos to the point where you're able to kind of sneak in, get people out, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna say, let's see, multiple person, the baseline. So we'll make this I'm gonna put this at fairly difficult. So I'll do a time limit of 3, so we'll do 3 rounds, and then we'll make it a difficulty of. I'm trying to do math. It's weird because I have all the math worked out for a 5-person group, but Adam's not here, so I'm trying to redo it on the fly, and I'm an English teacher. All right, so we'll just make it. I'm gonna make it 15 because it is fairly difficult. So you need 15 tokens by the end of 3 rounds, which means this is fairly challenging. Again, you guys are really outnumbered. So a success and a raise basically give you a token. And so you still have the audience dice to get through. So you need 15 tokens in 3 rounds between the 4 of you. So basically, when it's your turn, just describe what you're doing and make a check. If you drew a club, you got a complication, which means you have a -2 on anything you attempt. And if anyone tries to support you, same deal. If you fail on whatever task that you try to do, if you've drawn a club and have a complication, the whole dramatic task fails. You're more than welcome to skip that turn, though. You can say, I don't want to do it. I don't want to risk it. That's fine. So that's the choice that you have to make. And you guys can do whatever you want. So pick your best skills, all that kind of stuff. And you can support each other as well, as long as it makes sense. You guys can help each other out.
Oh,
so that's
Jeremy
what we're going
got the
towards.
club.
Okay.
Jeremy got the club, but I got a joker, so.
Nice. You got a +2.
So +2, and Jack, you do go first. So you got snipers on the canyons, 4 snipers shooting down at you and Cuspid. You've got the cows now. The whole herd is starting to get unsettled and getting a little crazy.
Right, because
that's where
the thing shot in towards the camp, so they're all kind of riled up.
Yeah, so I pictured it as a big old burst of flame shot out from the back of the jetpack towards where the cows were, and that just startled them. Now they're kind of pushing back into the canyon.
We've got that rope in front of us, but I almost don't want to cut it because they would leave the canyon. I want to push them back towards that cabin, right, and clear the camp. So I'm going to take my Winchester. And I want to scan the herd, and I want to look for one that's really, really, really worked up and really scared, and I want to aim it right at its right at its backside, and I don't want to kill it. I just want to put a bullet in its ass to just get it really upset after it was already spooked.
This is you can either roll this for the notice to find one, or you can roll it for the gunshot. It's up to you, whatever you prefer.
Let's do the gunshot.
Yeah. So you find one. That's easy enough. And now you take the shot. Don't forget you have a +2 from the Joker.
Yeah.
That's a raise. Okay. Do you want to?
It shouldn't be +4. It should be +2. So it's a 7.
Okay.
I must have accidentally added on top of the Joker.
Oh yeah, the Joker did automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got 1 success. Okay. So that's 1 token. So you guys.
Should I Benny it, guys? To get more token, we need 15.
We have to get 15.
You have to get 15.
I'm gonna spend a Benny because I've got the +2, so I'm gonna re-roll this.
Yeah.
Let's raise this time.
You did the same thing.
Plus, it's weird this programmed in there, but yeah. So I guess we'll stay with the 7.
So did you manually put in a +2 for something?
I did, but I didn't on the second one. I just hit the reroll button, so it must have just remembered that I put the +2 in there. So we'll go with the first one, the 7.
Yeah, you still got 1 success, so you're all good. All right. So you as you're getting shot, you take a second. You're not really going to return fire. They have such great high ground position on you. You're kind of pinned, but you leaning out from the side of the rock. You peer. You use the last little bits of the light. You fire. This cow just you can hear it, and all of a sudden just begins leaping through like it's trying to mosh pit on top of the other cows who are already startled, and that now they're just pushing and pushing up against you. Hear like gunfire starting to come up from the other side as if they're trying to shoot up in the air to scare back, but it doesn't seem to be having a particularly good effect. Okay. And don't forget, you all can help each other. Like you all can support each other. There's things you can do to potentially support one another. Anna, you're up there. We'll say Ives just finished climbing up, and so he's up there now with you too. You've got 2 shooters up here that don't see you. What do you all want to do?
So Anna's goal at this point, while their attention is elsewhere, is to try to find our folks. So I'm thinking that the cabin might be where they could be. So
Okay.
she is, it's like stealthing. She's moving, trying to find our
Okay,
people.
so you just want to roll a stealth test. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
And I was thinking that I would assist her by drawing attention.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
yeah. How would you draw attention? Like, if as long as you don't care about them turning around and shooting at you, like if you just fire your
Yeah,
guns, there's
I
no
don't
roll necessary. That's very easy to do. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking just like laying down a hail of gunfire as I run in a
Okay.
off direction from Anna. That way, drawing their look towards me, maybe getting them to duck and cover. And
So you run along maybe the southern edge of the canyon,
yeah,
and then she's sneaking along kind of the eastern edge at that point, and that's fine because guns are loud and you're shooting at them. So no roll necessary. Anna, you can take the support bonus from this.
Sorry, +1 or +2?
I think it's +1, right? I mean, actually, Eyes, if you want to roll it, because I think if you get a
Sure.
raise, I think that would increase the
+2.
what she gets. So you can
Okay.
always do it that way.
Check.
It's just a gunshot check.
What time of day is it?
It is not yet dark, so you're okay.
Good. Good.
You're okay.
Good.
About half an hour though, you're screwed. Oh dear.
I'm gonna use my last Betty on that.
Okay. Okay. I already said guns are firing, so you're still gonna get the +1, but you're not gonna get the raise bonus. So take a +1 because like you're still shooting at them. That's happening. You're just not hitting them. We'll say.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
It's a
that's another
success.
token, and you're able. So yeah, you're able to sneak past.
I'm
No
gonna-
issues.
Can I Benny
Absolutely,
just to see how it goes since I've got the +1? Try to take
Uh-huh.
advantage of that.
that makes sense.
Hey, there we go.
There you go. Aw. 8,
Nice.
barely enough.
Raise.
There you go. That's a second. So now you're up to 3 tokens. So you quickly and quietly move along the eastern edge, and like you're going from brush to brush. You hear gunfire echoing out from the canyon below. You hear like the sounds of cows that are just in horrible shock and pain. You hear people shouting out like, "We got another one up here!" And like they're firing in the direction of Ives, who's like running, like kind of running and shooting at the same time, diving behind rocks and brush up here. And you take advantage of that, and you just start sneaking all the way around to the east. And now you can tell kind of the same thing that Cuspid and Dawson saw. There is this like kind of switchback walk, like path that leads up the backside of the canyon, but you are actually on top. So as you sneak around, you can see in the distance that there looks to be a couple buildings, maybe a cabin, maybe a barn, maybe tool shed, something like that. Smoke coming up out of the chimney, and at this distance, you can see people moving about up there. But you can't necessarily make out exactly who they are. But there are people up there, and I'll say because you got a raise, you do recognize that like the bright sort of pink, like not pink, it's more like kind of a faded red shirt of Bill as he's being led by a very small man, kind of almost like on a rope. Okay.
Small
then
man, you say?
Indeed. Now it does go to Ives. So Ives, it's your turn.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and keep sowing chaos with my shots. I want to trying to keep the path as clear as I can for Anna to get to those things. So just running in recklessly, hail of gunfire, Making sure they know to point their guns my direction and not anyone else's.
All right, so it just sounds like you're shooting, just rolling a shooting test.
Yeah.
All right, man, go for it. Oh, goodness.
It's not
You guys
my
are
night.
Dice are super
Cold
unkind
tonight.
Yeah.
Cold.
Community bennies.
Do we
There
do
are
have
community
community
bennies. That's what they're
I
there
will
for.
Community Benny that, yeah.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh. Oops.
Oh.
Man.
So,
Ugh.
failure means no progress.
Uh-huh.
Critical failure reduces progress by 1. So we go from 3
Oh.
down to 2 tokens. As I'm going to say what happens, Ives, you're running, you're firing, and you get clipped maybe, and
Okay.
you go tumbling down the side of the canyon. Like
That's-
dum, dum. Not
Yeah.
like a full vertical drop. It's more like the kind of, so it's like bam, boom, 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 boom. And you are just like, you're down now on the canyon floor. Go ahead and roll a vigor test for more bumps and bruises as you just take this long stumble down the incline.
Oh, hi, John.
I got a
And
4.
you flop down, and now you're in the middle of the canyon, honest up there by yourself.
Is that
Goes
one
to-
wound?
No, you don't get any wounds actually, because
Okay.
we're not. That's a dangerous quick encounter. This is a little different. This just means progress is bad, but you've
Okay.
been moved down. All right, Cuspid, you are on a club, which means complication, which means -2 on whatever you attempt, but you don't have to attempt anything if you don't want to.
Well, I feel like we're already far enough behind that I need to try something. I
Yeah.
see my friend Ives come tumbling down. There are gunmen approaching him. That simply won't do. So I will close in to try and assist them. And they probably, hopefully, aren't expecting like a whip of razor blade teeth rotating around from about 16 yards away.
Yeah, you see one of the riflemen from above that was exchanging fire with Ives is like running down, firing at Ives as he's tumbling, but missing, and he's chasing down, and that's who you kind of sneak up on with your razor chain teeth. So go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Well, let's hopefully not bot this.
Oh dear. This,
Wow.
the dice tonight are.
Oh my gosh. Like the number of 1s and 2s. Just.
Nope, failure. Because -2.
Because the -2.
Everything fails.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
So many 1s and 2s tonight. It is just.
Wow.
Where's Dan?
So
He took it all last week.
He took it all last
of our
week.
luck.
did. He took all the luck and holler. So
This is
This
where
is-
Dan left us.
this is how it fails. Okay. So Cuspid, you go and you swing out this this teeth whip, and it wraps around the guy. But right as this thing kind of wraps around and you look like everything's going to go great, all of a sudden you hear the cackling or the crackling of lightning. And Jack, you see as from somewhere on like kind of on a ledge on the other side of the rope, a strange looking man with this big old hat. He's got some kind of contraption, like he's carrying almost like a cannon, and this arc of electricity just goes whoosh all the way across, and it just right into Byron's back, and kind of has him go sailing instead. And now both Cuspid and Ives are on the ground. There's one guy kind of staring down with a gun. Dawson, as this is happening, you hear like the sounds of kind of footfalls running around, and now you can see there's two gunslingers kind of coming up right up next to you, and like, hey, I think we found ourselves some heroes, and they're pointing like what looks like 4 guns at you, each of them kind of pointing 2 guns. And then up on the ridge line, Anna, as you're like there, kind of looking, trying to squint your eyes, you hear a click, and you feel the muzzle of a gun at the back of your head.
Damn it.
So, we'll play it this way. Okay, we'll play it this way. You can either be taken prisoner. Okay, that's option 1. Or you can push your luck with a dramatic task. We'll restart a dramatic task, but the failure of the dramatic task will be a TPK. Like, meaning they will no longer take you prisoner. They will just gun you down. That will be the failure state of an additional dramatic task. Either they take you prisoner now, or you try to escape from this horrible state. You all can figure that out.
I'm loyal as a hindrance.
Okay.
I'll defend or risk my life for the life of my friends without hesitation. So I'm going to doing this.
Wish.
We're doing this.
Okay.
I've got my hindrance is delusional. I don't believe I'm quite human.
So 2 people that are loyal, somebody who's delusional, and somebody who has a death wish. Do we want to push it?
Okay.
Yes.
So we are gonna restart a new dramatic task. Because this has a death state, I'll go nicer and we'll say 12 over 3 rounds, which is just standard difficulty now. And I've also burned you guys of all your bennies, so I feel
I appreciate that we're all playing our hindrances.
I think you know what? That's actually a really good point. All of you take a Benny because that is what the GM's supposed to do. I just don't really do that very often because you guys get so many audience bennies. It's like not really necessary. But everyone, because you're playing to this, I do think it's fair to say. All right. Again, remember the rules. If you get a club and you fail, everyone dies. That's the failure state. Okay. New round. We know where we're at. Let's go to the next turn.
Yes, chat. We are not making the wise option.
No.
We're rolling like crap, and we're taking the one where
First
we could very
round.
well fail.
No clubs. Ives, you're up first. You just tumbled down. You heard a crackling of electricity. You see Cuspid fall to the ground. You look up just in time to see that electricity kind of fade, and a man with a very kind of strange looking hat. I think I actually have a token. I'll drop on the thing that you can see what he looks like. This is what he looks like right here. Let's see if I can get him to. That is Professor Brass. As I drop the token, that he's got his big old floppy hat and these big old goggles as he fires this electrical cannon at you all. What do you want to do, Ives?
You said there's 2 dudes standing over Cuspid and I with guns drawn,
There's
right?
basically one dude with guns near you, and then there's another, like on the other side of the canyon, that's got a cannon of lightning pointed at you all.
Okay. I got this. Well, I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm going to have to tap into forces dark and dangerous. I will totally do that stupid anime stuff where I just bite the shit out of my thumb. I'm gonna Aaron Yeager this. And as this evil dark energy, and like I'm like shaking and growling like, you know, some weird kid at a Hot Topic that thinks they're a little too hot shit.
Don't forget, you all can support each other. If anybody thinks that they could do anything to support this berserk rage that Ives is about to go into.
Sorry, Jeff. My quick would go into effect here if I have 5 or less.
Oh, it does on the. I wasn't sure if okay. Yeah, let me.
5 or less, then it.
Let's draw another card.
I can discard and draw
Queen of Diamonds
again and get a card.
Yeah, so it would have been a Queen of Diamonds
until you get a card that's higher. Okay.
Yeah,
Queen
so it would have been a Queen of Diamonds. Yeah. Let Ives finish.
Ives finish. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, so then I just whip out my 6 shooters, and in what I believe is an inhumanly fast and furious rain, I unload both cylinders into the person directly at me and the person up on that cliff. Just looks really goofy and like cringy, but you know, Ives thinks he's doing something.
Anna would like to help. I, as a player, am struggling to figure out how you could help with that. Okay, yeah. I wasn't seeing anything either, but
yeah. I mean, if Byron or Jack wanted to, I think that's reasonable.
No,
but
you know what I think I will do, because I have bolstered the horse's spirits before, and as he is trying to fill himself full of this vigor, I think I will let some of those little taser prods go forth. A couple of teeth will bite into your back, and you feel a jolt of energy.
You're biting my butt. It's giving me the wiggles as I start shooting.
Okay.
I guess I roll
All right. Do I get anything?
I'll roll
plus
it to
one. Yeah, I mean plus one for sure. Yeah,
There's
plus
no
one for the
raise on
success.
it.
Yeah, so
All right. +1. All right.
did you actually cast relief? Because if that's the case, he loses the fatigue too.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other benefit of that is you lose your rank of fatigue.
That would make that an 8.
Okay.
Yay.
So just describe what happens as you. We'll say the one in front of you, you gun down, no problem, right? So like, how's that look as you gun the guy right in front of you down?
I pull both pistols and just like 1, 2, 3, right at him. 1, 2, 3 at the dude up here. Another one here. Another one there, and just John Wicking that shit. Just bam, 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 bam.
You see one of the riflemen at top just go "Ah!" and just falls down. Like you can see all the way down the canyon. Hang on, I think I have it. Falls all the way down, slaps out at the bottom of the canyon. You go to fire at the other one, and at the one with the lightning gun. You fire in his direction, and you can see like he does something with the canyon, and all of a sudden this burst of electricity appears, and when it kind of disappears, like the bullet just hits the rock wall behind him, and he is like, you can see him kind of shifting and moving down as he kind of manages to dodge out of the way of that one.
I'll take what I can get. Yeah.
2 successes, or 2 tokens towards success. So much better start than last time.
All right.
Jack, it is your turn.
So the guy with the lightning, like, is it a gun? Is it a pack? Like, what
It's
does
like
it look
a
like?
big old cannon. He's got like this kind of cylindrical item. It looks like some kind of strange bit of weird science, and he's just kind of holding it in his hand and he's just firing it in your direction.
How much of a negative would I get to aim at it? Specifically at that gun? Would it be a small object? I mean, because I know you can aim at things and...
Yeah, it's not particularly small. I'll say maybe -1 at most.
I want to shoot that gun.
I'll say this because it's a dramatic task. We'll say -1, but like you have the. I'll say if you have the potential, if you do shoot it, we'll roll damage, and if you manage to like do enough of like if you do a decent amount of damage to it, we'll say you can destroy it and maybe get an extra token from it.
Is there anyone who can assist me in any way with this task?
You know what? I'll just.
You're shooting, right?
Yeah.
I am going to, in my mind's eye, see your bullets flying out. And I am going to shoot in front of your bullets to break up the air friction in front of it.
So that his bullets can draft?
Yeah.
What is this?
Just
What is this?
keeping
It's
your
that
bullet.
James McAvoy movie. And then you bend the bullet and everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, God.
Making sure I bend his shots in the right direction.
So no bonus, huh, Jeff?
So, I mean, we could say you shoot at the guy as well, and that makes it hard to help pin him down. Like, I think that's fine. Go ahead and roll a shot,
Okay.
Ives. Let Ives roll a shot. We'll see if you get how much of a bonus you get.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Take a +2. Take a +2, Jack.
Nice.
So it'd be a
Only that had
+1.
been the
+1
roll.
total.
Yeah.
There's still a chance, Jack Dawson. Okay.
I'm gonna Benny it
Okay.
because I'd like to get higher. You guys okay with that? If I Benny this?
Yeah, it's your Benny, man. You go for it.
Okay.
6 it is.
What I said is, let's roll damage, and if you do, a significant amount, like you manage to explode your damage and do a decent amount of damage, we'll say maybe you take the bulk out of the fight, which would result in an extra token. I'll say 9 looks good to me. I'll go ahead and say you manage to shoot. You get a bullet goes right down like the canyon opening as he's kind of turning away from Ives, who's kind of keeping him tucked down. And while it doesn't destroy it outright, you can see as he tries to charge and fire it, it just fizzles out like it's malfunctioning now. And he kind of looks down at it and he kind of throws it off to the side as it seems to be ineffectual. So I'll give you 2 for that. Okay, so you're up to 4. Much better start so far. Cuspid, your turn.
Okay, I was just going to focus on Professor Brass as well. Was Anna the only one who was able to see our little short friend leading the boss away?
Yeah, because she's
Okay.
all the way at the top. You guys wouldn't have seen it.
And at the
You just
time
know
it
there's a
was still-
path back there that goes up to something.
Okay.
sneaking. I mean, can we say, like the way that I'm helping Dr. Cuspid is that I make some kind of eye contact with him to let him know, like.
I don't think you can make eye contact. The three of them are literally in the middle of a canyon. You are way up on the eastern side of a canyon wall. I don't even think you guys can see each other.
Okay.
I mean, I think at this point, if we decided we're going complete Death Wish, the thing to do is to put the rocket pack on and fly straight in and rocketeer this nonsense.
Yes, it is.
And just get as close as I can to somebody that looks important.
That's great. Put yourself up in the air so that the 30 shoot us on the other side could just be, fire away. That's beautiful. What, weird science, I guess?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is a good idea.
This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Critical fail could be hilarious as he just smashes right in the canyon
blow up.
and then he's dead.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
14.
All right. You get up into the air. Okay. And so as you ascend, as you throw this on, there's two gunmen there's two gunslingers, both of them that are 4 guns directly at Jack. One of them kind of points one up and tries to fire you, but kind of the offhand, but they're still paying attention to Jack. You fly up, you're above the herd now. You look down and you can see several things. You see the chuck wagon, like your chuck wagon. You see the Reverend's wagon. You see tons of tents all around, and you see somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 cowboys and such, raiders they got guns out. Some of them are up on horses. They're trying to kind of keep the cattle at bay. And a few of them look up and they see you and they start firing at you, but you're weaving around. But you're now up in the air, and I'll say now you can see the little man kind of over the top of the canyon, over by where it looks like there's like a lumber camp of some kind. You can see him kind of leading Bill across this this area where these different buildings are. Okay. Anna, and I'll say at this point, Anna, you can now see Cuspid as you look over, because you got a gun to the back of your head, but you kind of look over and you can see Cuspid all of a sudden you can't see anything as you're on top again. You're on top of a canyon wall. You look off to your left and you see all of a sudden, here comes Cuspid flying in the air. What do you want to do, Anna?
So Anna is looking to kind of take out the guy behind her.
Yeah. How do you want to do that?
I'm trying to figure out what this role would be.
Just say what you want to do and we can talk out what the role would be.
Basically, what she wants to do is she wants to kind of butt her head backward toward the butt of the gun and kind of take him unaware and just see if she could basically just kind of launch herself backward.
Okay. Athletics, I think, is the one that jumps to mind, I would say. Fighting is I think, a reasonable one to use. I think one of those two is probably whatever you prefer.
Yeah, either one of those is equivalent for me.
Okay, then yeah.
And I don't have any particular... let me make sure. Yeah, Brawny doesn't necessarily come into effect with this.
So you're just going to try to headbutt him in the back and kind of throw the
kind of just land myself on top of him, basically.
Okay. All right. Critical fail, and he just pulls the trigger in your head. Just kidding, Melissa. You're freaking out. I know. Look at her. Okay, you're good. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Everything's turning around. All right. 7 is enough to succeed and get a token. Do you want to... Are you cool with that? You guys are in really good shape. You guys, that token would put you at 7 tokens at the end of the first round. You still have 2 more rounds to go, so you're in great shape.
I'll give it a whirl because I can still take this one if it's the better one, right?
Yes, I think unless you critical fail. I think a critical fail is a critical fail.
Oh yeah, critical fail went badly for us last time. Maybe I don't want to get greedy since I passed. All right, I'll leave it there.
Okay. So at the end of the first round, 2 more rounds to go, you're at 7 tokens. You need 12 by the end of these 3 rounds. Don't forget that like bad things can happen and take away tokens too. So as we saw last
that's
time.
why I don't want to.
Okay. Let's see. So for Dawson, you get an extra card. All right. So Joker for Cuspid, who's flying in the air right now on his jetpack.
Okay.
We got a club for Ives. But we'll go to Cuspid. You're up in the air. You're looking down. There's 30 plus people here that are firing up at you.
Nice. And there's a big cluster of them, right?
Oh, they're clustered. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is aim the rocket pack directly down at them, loosen the straps, and put up my tooth field. And I'm just going to let it go straight into him and let myself drop to the ground.
Holy crap. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yes, please do that. You'll get a Benny as well, because this is most certainly a death wish that you're playing to right here. Weird science again, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Or actually, yeah, it is a weird sign. I'll roll it off the powers thing so it takes away.
Okay.
I'll spend the extra for effect, so it'll be a +4. Not that it really matters, but just I would.
Okay. Oh, goodness. On a Joker, he's doing this too, so he's already got the +2
Yeah.
to the potential here. Oh, and it exploded.
16.
Oh my god. Okay, that's 2 more on top of that success and raise. You guys are up to 9. So we'll say, I mean, we'll say like you take out probably like half of them. So describe how it looks as you come down on this huge group of people.
There'll be a brief moment where he kind of holds onto the necklace with the rings, be like, I don't know if this will be enough, but I hope I see you again soon. And then, he'll twist the bow tie, the teeth will cover his whole body, let go of the straps while the rocket pack goes down, and then just kind of do the ridiculous, with the 16, he does the ridiculous, 3-point landing as it crashes a few yards away and blows up.
Anna, you hear the sounds of an explosion from up atop, and you see kind of like a mini mushroom cloud begin to just a peak above the edge of the canyon. Eyes and Dawson, you both watch as Cuspid flies up and then whoosh, flies down, and there's an explosion on the other side of the cattle. Now, what this does do is this also kind of scares the cattle, who are now starting to come back from that giant explosion. They're kind of pushing up against the rope as well, so they're starting to flee the canyon. But you just took out half of these people. There's damage here, tents on fire. You can see a wagon or two has been splintered, and there's people kind of rolling on the ground, burn marks all over. And there is Cuspid as the dust and smoke clears, completely unaffected as the Bluetooth field stands around, and they all look. Oh, goodness.
Jeff, I get another card because of quick. Sorry.
Oh, I did give you one.
Oh, weird.
But it was going to be a club, so I assumed you wanted the 4 spades.
Interesting. You may discard it and draw again until you get a card higher than a 5.
No, you did get a higher one.
Oh,
you got a club, and so I figured you didn't want the club because the club would be the complication. Anna, it is your turn.
Okay. So can I basically just turn around and kind of shoot this guy?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no problem. So he's rolling around on the ground, and he's laying on the ground. No problem. Or you can say you took him out, and you want to take out, the dramatic attack is very narrative.
I am
so
brawny, so me falling on top of him could have.
You hear the gun go off, and you roll around, and you see he accidentally shot himself in the stomach. As you land on top of him. But yeah, so what do you want to do now?
I would like to just knock him upside the head with the gun so that he's knocked out.
Okay, that's fine.
So that I'm not making further noise with a gunshot, and I can continue with my stealth.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ruckus going on, so I think your stealth mission's probably okay.
Okay.
But yeah, go ahead, that's fine.
All right. Do I need to roll to knock him out?
Well, I mean, every dramatic task is a skill check. So if this is the skill check you want to do, then roll either fighting or athletics is fine.
All right. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
17.
So, here's what I'll say: is you roll off him, and he's like, and he's trying to get up and kind of claw, and you can see somebody out. There's another gunman up here. They come running after, and you just kind of pick him up and just sort of toss him. And the two of them, he just like slams into the other, and they just go tumbling, and they fall off the edge of the canyon, and they just and like Jack, as you're down there, you're staring at these two gunmen who have their 4 guns trained on you. You just see as 2 bodies just land right behind them, and that is, you guys are up to 11 right now.
All right.
You guys are crushing this one, and Jack, it is now your turn.
12 was our target, right?
12 is your target after 3 rounds. So you do actually, I think you do play the 3 rounds up.
I'm very concerned about my friend Cuspid. So I'm loyal, and I have a code of honor and all this good stuff. So I'm going to throw caution to the wind. And what I want to do is I want to hop up on top of these cattle and start running across their backs towards where Cuspid went down, and just kind of firing my rifle at anybody I see as I do this.
Oh, that's absolutely beautiful.
Wonderful.
Athletics, I think, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't have a great athletics, but let's do it.
That sounds
That's just
amazing, though.
Cool.
It's for my friend.
Apparently, choosing cool things is the way to go.
There you go. Who would have thought? So as the bodies fall from above, the 2 gunslingers who have their guns trained on you, they turn alarmed, and they see these mangled bodies on the ground that just fell from the sky behind them. And you take that opportunity, Jack, to just bolt. And you can see the cattle from the explosion of the jetpack that Byron caused have started to push up against the rope. The rope breaks, and there's like this trample that it's like coming right at you, and like you just leap up, and so almost like you're like running right on top of a car that's about to hit you, and then one to the next, and you can see there is just absolute fire and like explosive residue, people rolling around on the ground, partially charred, and then there's others now that are staring at Cuspid in the middle, but they quickly shake off and they start aiming their guns, and right as they're about to just shoot Cuspid like clear as day, Jack, as he's running across the cattle, and so Cuspid, you're there, you're looking at the dust is clearing, and this guy like has a gun, has you dead to rights, and all of a sudden head just gets blown, and you look and you see old Jack Dawson running across the cattle coming right at you.
Amazing.
This is beautiful. You guys are crushing this one. Why'd you do this the first time?
Right.
Ives, comes to you.
So I got the bad one, right?
You have the club. That's a -2. You can choose not to do anything if you don't want.
Because where we at? We needed 12, and we're at what?
You're at
More than
13 at the end of the second round. Like, you could easily just not do anything.
Yeah, I don't want to risk failing this and TPKing the party.
Yes.
So
Oh,
I'm
that's
going
true.
to flavorfully do nothing. And by what I mean is I'm just going to go and start gnawing on the dude that I just shot down next to me.
Okay. Okay. Roll up the leg. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The bloodlust kicks in. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Take a Betty, Chuck. That's even with that. That's great. I like it. Let's see.
All right.
Draw an extra card for Jack again. Jack, you got a joker with your draw. Okay. Cuspid, you have a club this time, but you also go last. This is round 3. This is the third round. You're at 13, so as long as you don't backtrack or blow up on the club, you guys are home free. Jack, you're running across the cattle. Not a very stationary target. We'll say you're in the process of running and firing. Joker to you. What do you want to do?
So I see Cuspid's all right. Correct?
Yeah,
I see he's alive, so...
Cuspid is
Yeah,
cackling
he's got the
like a
full-on
maniac.
tooth armor.
Okay,
going on.
perfect. My friend is okay. Do I see the little man leading...
No, you see you're not far from that path going up to where it would be. So like, you know that there's something up there, and like it would make sense that you would think that like the more highly regarded people are up there.
I would like to continue that way, but I don't know what I can do to further the narrative.
I mean, you can I mean, we could do it a couple different ways. I mean, if you wanted to try to stealth up there, if you just wanted to try to race up there, like parkour up there as an athletics test, you know,
Sure,
something
let's do
like
that.
that.
Yeah, let's as fast as possible. I'm gonna athletics test it.
Okay.
Pretty parkoured on top of the horse's back, so just keep
Might
it
as
going.
well.
Yeah.
Who'd have thought?
Oh, there you go.
Jeez, man.
Wow.
Jeez, Dawson, you are a superhero. As
Praise
like all the
Jack.
cattle are running out underneath
Praise
you, you
Jack.
just leap over. You get on top of like the chuck wagon, then you hop over to the Reverend wagon. Then there's like this tree that you manage to sort of swing underneath the branch. You land on top of this boulder. Like there's someone who's like swinging at you with like this big old machete. You just do a flip over top of them, and then you just continue to run up. And like there's people coming down, like and they're firing, and you're just like as you're going, you've got like your rifle like cooked underneath. You're hip shooting it. You're just as they're flopping down, as you're just running up this path. And eventually you get to the top of it, and you can see that there are a couple buildings up here. There are what looks like, there's 2 buildings. There's all sorts of these stacks of lumber, like old lumber. This isn't anything recent. There's a couple what looks like old wagons and things. You do in fact see the like on the far end. You can hear the sounds of like, and you can see the large body of Bill Sutter. He like the his like his back leaning up against what looks like a stack of one of these logs, and he's just like he's like someone's working him pretty bad. You also notice that there's like there's a couple doors that are open up, and you hear the sounds of like people like screaming on the inside, like arguing. Okay, so let me get back to the right map where I had all the stuff. And it goes to Anna, who you are up top. You've just taken 2 of them out. You have a clear shot to the same place that Jack just went as well. So what do you want to do?
Basically, I want to book it in that direction, but I also want to see if I can like use my lariat to try to like snatch a gun or 2 to help kind of clear this path.
Okay, so yeah, as you're running from a kind of a different angle than Jack went. Jack was kind of running up. You're coming from the side, and there's like a set of like tents and other things at the very top by where this lumber camp is, and you can see that there's a handful of guards up there and other folks. And what I'll say is like as you're coming up, you see like behind one of the buildings up here, there is like this kind of sunburnt, leathery looking man covered in these sort of almost reflective, glossy like leathers, and he's got what looks like some animal skins that are kind of hanging down here and there, and he's got this bandana working across his face, and you can see that he's like staring at Dawson, and he's starting to like go through this kind of weird machination. He has some kind of strange fetish in his hand as if he's casting spells, and you come up just in time to kind of sling your lariat in to try to interrupt the casting. Go ahead and roll probably a melee attack, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think I can roll it from the lariat. Let's see.
Yeah, you should be able to. This is what Rawhide Randy looks like for you guys.
And what does it take to do wild attack? I don't know that I've done that before.
You don't have to. Don't worry about wild attack. It's just a regular.
Oh, okay.
Remember, this is just skill check stuff. So, and it's a success with a 5. So yeah, you come up. He looks like he's getting ready to cast something at Jack, who is not aware of you. Like it's like kind of blindsiding him. And right as he goes to like release, the lariat comes out, wraps around his head. You hear him. The fetish goes flying to the ground, and you just like yank, and he just twirls and flops down to the ground, and he kind of looks up at you now with dirt in his face. You and Jack are both up here together.
All right.
Okay. John, you're eating right now.
Well, I don't have a club anymore. And I have now filled myself. So I just gonna go feral animal, and I'm gonna pull out my knife and just start running around this canyon floor, taking out, just leaping on, stabbing, biting out the throats of as many people as I possibly can.
It is absolute chaos, too. So this is the perfect thing for you. You're just weaving in out of the cattle. There's like people that are shooting at shadows here and there. Others are just trying to get the cattle at bay or get to their horses. Others are being drawn to Cuspid. A few others are chasing after Jack. And your eyes as the sun's coming down, but there's still a little bit of light left, blood on your face. You're weaving between the shadows looking for your next meal. So yeah, roll whatever you want to roll.
I want to do fighting on this.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'll take it.
We need like little Timmy to appear out of nowhere and just like side by side.
You just had to be threatened with imminent death. And all of a sudden our dice change.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's what you do. The two gunmen that are like had Jack down. They're kind of firing after him as he's moving at like preternatural speed, parkouring across these cows, this wagon. Like you see him just kind of go up, and they're firing, and they're trying to hop up, and you just leap up and just like hack two of them down. They fall down. Yeah. The other one turns around. Your blood is just all over your face. It's just squirted up from the first person you stabbed, and they're like, ah! As you start hacking away at them. And you continue to kind of weave and kind of get closer to Cuspid, who still there's a decent amount of a clumped around Cuspid still, and you're closing in on them.
Yeah.
Okay. So it comes to Cuspid, who is the final person. You have a club. You guys have 16 tokens. So you don't actually have to roll if you choose
I don't think
to.
I'm going to roll anything, but I would like to have a flavorful inaction if possible.
I would expect nothing less.
I would like to take a look and see if there's any amongst these that seem to be one that the others are looking towards. Somebody who seems to be a man of importance by any nature.
Let's see. Who's left? Yes, you do see a dude with a very large hat. You can see he's kind of dressed in much finer gear, and you can tell that his guns that he has on this, like in his hands, and like his equipment, look like somebody who takes care of his equipment. Very pale, kind of red-haired, and you can see these like bright green eyes and kind of sort of like freckle sunburns across his face, and you can hear him shouting at people, and some of them, like, definitely looks like some are listening to him, but he's just like firing, and you can see he's just shooting cattle. And anyone who tries to run away, he just fires and shoots them too.
I would like to just walk up to him and put my chest directly in front of the barrel of his gun.
Okay.
Son, I'm sure you're very good with that, but I really want you to look around yourself and ask, is it worth it? And that'll be it.
All right. So, okay. At the end of 3 rounds, you guys have 16 tokens. The entire camp is in shambles. You can tell that we'll say that like 2/3 have been, maybe even more, maybe 3/4 of them have been slaughtered. Some of them are running and fleeing. Others are being trampled over by the cows at this point. You're a little scattered. Dawson and Anna, you're up top. Cuspid and Ives. Let's resolve this. The rest of this is just like, quick encounter stuff. Like there's like, because you guys have succeeded, so there's no risk. Now we're just gonna flavor end it, right? So Cuspid, you stand in front, and the guy turns to you, and you can see these green eyes, like this flushed red face, and he says, "You think you the first person that I ever encountered that can do fancy things? Look behind you." And when you turn, Cuspid, you can see there's the metal mage, and he's like got some other contraption, and he's getting ready to do something at you as well. Mm-hmm. Up top, I'm just going to reset it so everyone can get a chance to do something. Jack, Anna, the two of you are together. Anna, you've like kind of taken out the shaman up here, but you see bursting out of the cabin. You can see a couple folks. You see first. You see a man who you imagine is Socrates Galt, and then you see kind of this another one of these kind of gunslinger types. You can tell she's got these beautiful looking guns that she kind of pulls out, and she kind of spins them around a bit. And Galt is this He's got this long kind of duster trench coat, thick and dirty. He's got this what looks like very dark looking hat. He's got these sunken eyes that you can barely see at this point as the sun is almost completely down. This 5 o'clock shadow beard, and he's got this sawed off shotgun in one hand, and he's got a pistol in the other, and he's got both of them out, and he's got one of them pointing at Jack, one of them pointing at Anna, and you can see the woman as well. It's kind of dark skinned woman with like this really like heavy looking, almost like Australian outback like hat. It's got knives kind of sticking out of it, and she's got her 2 guns, and she's doing the same thing, and they're both in the process of firing at Jack and Anna. John, meanwhile, for you, like, you're kind of weaving about, and there's still this huge like contingent of people that are still here. There's still at least about 10 different fighters, some of whom you can tell just by the look at them are doing the calculus, like, do we run or do we actually stay and help out these other 2 lieutenants? So that's what you all are kind of faced with. So with one kind of summary, kind of quick encounter, everyone describe like what you do to kind of help this end.
Yeah. So there's all these dudes down here trying to figure out if they're coming or going. I'm going to sneak up kind of in the center of their group, slip in, covered in blood and gore, grab one of them by the back of the head. I'm not going to cut their throat. That's too easy. Mm-hmm. I'm going to bury in one love handle with my knife, pull across to the other one, bend them over backwards, and just like leap up kind of through the center of them, just covered in gore and intestines. So I'm hungry. Just leap at another one.
So,
oh my God,
that is the most terrifying thing I think Eyes has ever done. So, as this happens, as Eyes, like you sneak in the middle of this group who are like, we gotta get the hell out of here, man. This shit's gone bad. This shit's gone bad. And then like what do you think? I don't know, let me get a name. What do you think, Eddie? Should we get the fuck out of here? And they turn and look at Eddie, and meanwhile, Eddie's getting pulled back, and exploding out from his waist is this viscera that just coats the rest of them. And as like this upward rain of viscera and this puddle of intestines lands in the middle, Eyes, you peer between the group in the dust, and you can see right by this tent, there's little Timmy. There's Franklin. They're both tied up. And Franklin, his eyes are wide like these big old bright moons watching this all happen. Okay. Who else wants to go next? Franklin is terrified. He's like, no. Timmy is very into this. All right. Again, you guys have already won. I just want, like, let's do some flavor into this. Yeah.
I'd throw my rifle aside and draw my shotgun, and I would just like beeline to the nearest like lieutenant or whatever of importance, and just to, like, bury my shotgun in there, like not necessarily shoot, but just like get right up there, no regard for my life whatsoever, and try to get between myself and anyone else.
There's the 2 lieutenants, or there's Socrates, Galt, and the one other gunslinger that are firing at you and Anna, and then you did see somebody like that short little Irish guy was roughing up Bill on the other side of like the lumber stack. So it's kind of up to you which one you want to go for.
If he's roughing up one of the hands, I would go over there to stop that.
Okay, so you just kind of take a tumble as they fire. You know, we just see like all of their bullets are just a couple feet behind, like exploding the dust, like where your feet just were, or like splintering what looks like this old dry lumber that had been stacked up that you managed to dart behind. And you go and you turn around and you see bloody face, bloody shirt, kind of torn up, arm dripping blood, and you can see you've never seen Bill kind of taken to task as he is now. Very large man. And you see this small guy, maybe 5'6" at most, and bald head. We pull him onto the page for you guys. He's got this big old mustache, kind of moving around, kind of mutton chop-ish, and he's just like,
Oh, you son of a bitch, you. I'm gonna take you down. That's right, left, and one, and then the two, and the one, and the two.
and over and over and over he goes. As you turn around, and he looks up like,
Oh, we've got a new challenger in the party now, don't we?
what do you do?
It was a good day, Mr. Crocker. You're going to meet your end. You mess with my friends.
Okay. And you just, do you shoot him, or do you do anything else?
If I can. Oh, yeah, I'll shoot him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Let's do it.
We're just having fun now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you just lower the gun. You're like, "Hey, Mr. Crocker, just leave my friends alone." And you fire, and he gets blown back, and you see this big old like red splotch appear on his chest. And he kind of like looks up, and he looks stunned.
You son of a... It's Croker. Ugh.
And he just kind of leans back out. Okay, Anna or Cuspid? We still got the big man. Anna, do you take out the big guy up here? There's two people firing at you. There's Socrates Galt. He's the chief right here. He's the head of the whole raiding crew.
I don't even know if this is how this works, but I'm just gonna say that we've got rifle in one hand, pistol in the other, and
Absolutely.
they're both gonna go straight for head honcho.
Okay.
Nice.
You're gonna go both for the big
Yep.
guy. Okay.
Yep.
You ignore the other woman who's turned her back and is like firing now at the lumber stack that Dawson has just ran around. You can see the body of that short little Irish guy just get flown out from the other side, and he lays down on the ground. His head comes up and he falls back down. She's still firing in that direction. Galt kind of turns to you, and he's got this horrible sneer. Anna, go ahead and roll a shot. Let's just see how well you do.
Let's see.
Don't worry, you're gonna shoot him. I just want to see how well you do. Okay, you shoot him, and as he's like lifting up, what looks like this, he's got a sawed-off shotgun in one hand. He's got a looks like a pistol in the other. He kind of pulls the pistol up at you first to take the fire, and as he's spinning around to shoot the shotgun at you, your shot takes him like right in the shoulder, which causes that shotgun to kind of go flying off and kind of land on the ground. Doesn't fully take him out the way Dawson does, but you see him kind of crumple to the ground a bit, hand down, kind of almost in like a hero pose, trying to push himself back up. Cuspid, what do you do?
So right after the guy makes his snark about, people trying new tricks, I can appreciate that, surely. But the thing about me is I appreciate the old-fashioned ways myself. And at that point, the Bowie knife will just go into his side and kind of spin him around to use him as a human shield on top of my tooth armor I already have. Just let him get hit by Professor Brass's whatever it is.
Yeah, so you stab him in his eyes, just like utter surprise, had no idea this was coming, and the blood begins to sort of trickle out of his mouth. You spin around right as another one of these, like this dark like bolt of some sort of electricity just emerges from this tiny little contraption. It's not one of those big old, kind of the big old cannon, and so it's much more directed, and it just, you can feel the force of it impact the chest of the person in front of you, and you hear the and then you almost feel a little tingle on your own chest, and as you let go, you can see that there's a hole in the guy's chest where the lightning kind of went through, and he just slumps to the ground, and you're face to face with this Professor Brass.
Now, Professor Brass, if we were quite done here, I would really love to talk shop. That's amazing.
Kind of looks at you. He looks at what you've done. You know what? Roll a test. Like roll a, what is it? Is it persuasion? I can't remember. I never remember the skills. Yeah, roll persuasion.
I'm gonna spend a bit on that.
Okay.
Why not?
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, well. The ones and twos are back.
Okay. He looks at you, and he looks at like the carnage around, and he says, "Oh, well, that is an enticing offer. I prefer to consort only with those of equal stature." And then he just throws something down on the ground, and you see like Darkwing Duck, a burst of like smoke just sort of erupts around, whoosh, kind of swirls around, and when it dissipates, he's no longer there.
I'm so happy.
Okay. Okay, so Ives, you have sent the rest of them running. Cuspid, you have managed to sort of convince one way to get the guy away, the metal mage there, and you've taken out one of the other gunslingers. Ives, coated in blood, you see the kids in this tent. Do you go to help them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you go, and you're coated in blood, and they're like, and like the biggest smile on little Timmy's face as you start to like undo his the gag and the bindings, and he's like, I knew you'd come. I knew you'd come. And he's trying to like reach out and like kind of lick the side of your face, like, you got a piece right there. Got a piece right there.
That is disgusting, boy. You don't lick me. Here, I ain't like chitlins anywhere. Give him a piece.
So he grabs him,
No.
and he just and like Franklin just starts vomiting right there in the tent at that point.
Oh, God.
Franklin, the sweet one.
I'll untie Timmy, but I'm going to leave Franklin tied up. Don't worry, he's going to run off.
Sure. Up top, as Dawson, you take out the one. As Anna, you've wounded the other, like the main Socrates guy. You can tell, Jack, that it looks like he's okay. He's going to need some healing, but it's nothing that's probably going to kill him. You hear the sounds of sounds like Javier from inside, like he's calling out from inside one of the buildings. But you still see that there's these twos you can contend with. Socrates, he's got his arm in a sling. Like his arm is like kind of slashed down, and the shotgun's no longer in his hand. With his offhand, he's got his pistol up, and you got this other gunslinger kind of firing away. So between Jack and Anna, describe how this kind of resolves.
I'm going to say with the house in sight, and I can hear their voices, Jack's just like looking at the house. He's not even looking at these two other gunslingers, and he's just walking towards it. But as he passes by one of the two, he's just going to shoot them without even looking at them. And he's just going to go save the people in need and to just blast one of these two as he walks by. But he's focused on saving those innocents that we obviously put in danger. He's blaming himself.
So you're just walking, you emerge
just
out
slowly
from behind,
Yeah.
and you're like, maybe you're reloading in the process, and like you step over top of Croker's body, you hold the gun out like as you finish loading without even looking. You fire. Anna, you watch as the woman who's got that kind of Australian outback hat, she just flies through the air and lands down on the ground, and Jack goes inside the cabin. Anna, you are left then staring at Socrates Galt now, who's got a gun directly at your face. He's about ready to pull the trigger. What do you say and what do you do to end this?
Lazy S is not to be trifled with. Shoot him in the face.
Okay. And he just as he's going to pull the trigger, he's got his offhand, he fires, he misses, you fire, and right you can see like a little tiny hole. It's almost like nothing just suddenly appears right in his cheek. And he almost looks like maybe you missed for a second, and then he just crumples to the ground. As the dust settles, as you kind of look around, you manage to, with as you all kind of reconnect with each other, you take stock. You didn't kill everybody, obviously, but you've definitely caused most of them to flee. They're not all not everyone's accounted for, but it doesn't look like all of them were fighting to the death for this guy. And so there's maybe about 10 or 12 who have just run off. Some of them kind of with wounds and such. A couple of them on horses. The cattle have scattered in all sorts of different directions. You managed to find Sutter, who's beaten up. You managed to find Javier, the Reverend, who you can tell took a horrible wound to the back of his head. Javier is nursing a bullet wound in his side. You find Francesca up here as well. It looks like someone kind of cut a little bit into her face, but she seems relatively okay. All of these folks, you've managed to rescue. And as the time passes, a couple hours later, as you're kind of rounding up, healing, getting people together, getting the cattle back, you can see here comes Abby, here comes Luke, here comes about a dozen, what looks like just townsfolk shooters ready to go. They got their, shotguns and rifles, and they see you all kind of come out, still stains of blood and stuff in you here and there. As you all emerge from this box canyon, the cattle kind of breaking in front of you. You can see the 2 wagons coming behind you, and you're just like covered in wounds and guts, but all of you have survived. And we'll end right there, I think, on that image as you guys emerge, as we finish Act 1 of Blood Drive.
Nice.
Those
Okay.
exploding D6s tonight.
Oh my god.
Holy crap.
The dice
I would like to
roller coaster. Yeah.
Fetch that electrical gun that I shot and give it to Cuspid.
Oh, of course.
Before we
yeah.
forget.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
all that. Okay. It's definitely the one that it got shot, but you definitely have another toy to play with for sure. And all of you got an advance, so all of you get to go get an advance for when we start Act 2. But that is that. That was fun.
That was
Oh
good.
man.
That was great because we could have
roller
TPK'd.
coaster.
That was
I know,
a
yeah, the
hell of a
raising
turnaround.
stakes made it feel so much better.
Yep. That was so great. Oh man, I'm glad you guys failed so hard the first one. That's
Yeah.
great. It really
Oh
ramped
my
things up.
god.
Oof.
Okay. Why don't we do closing roundtable then? Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, RPG assets, maps, tokens, all sorts of fun stuff.
Right on. He just sent out some tokens today. Actually, got some. So pretty cool. I'm gonna try to find a game to put those in. Let's see. Matt, what do you got going? I know you don't have a lot this
Nothing.
week, though. Yeah,
Nothing.
this week.
There's
Yeah.
nothing this week over on Garbleg. And we'll see you next week. So
Yeah.
this was just a great session. Thank you, Jeff. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely. I had a lot of fun. I did. I actually had a lot of fun. It was very fun. It was a lot of high stakes, and I just I love doing the tasks, dramatic tasks, and the quick encounters and
Yes.
stuff. I did actually have I had a map ready to go. I'll show you all the map. Oh wait, that's not right. Where the hell is it? I do have a camp. I did have the lumber camp combat map. Could have happened, but it was going the way it was going. It was way more fun. It was way more intense, and it didn't make sense to sort of let's stop doing all this to get into it. But so that's the lumber camp that you guys
Yeah.
players can see it. Okay, Chuck, what do you got going on?
What do we got? We got Wednesday. We got Thunder Rift. Using Fantasy Age. Friday, Dungeon Crawl Classics. We're going into our Dead Sun campaign. I think that's it this week.
Yeah, I know we should probably also say, I know Adam's not here, but Saturday, I think we're back to Heart, right? Over on Grim and
Yes,
Perilous
we
Place.
are.
You can catch me, Jeremy, Chuck, and Adam, who's not here right now, but we'll all be there on Saturday. So there's that. Okay. Let's see. What do we got? Friday, we got Hunter. So we're doing Hunter and the Reckoning. So I think it's me, Melissa, Aaron that we see a lot on Octane Cthulhu game as well, and some of our usual folks. Saturday we'll be back to One Ring, second edition, and next Monday is our other Savage Worlds game as we're playing through Holler, so Appalachian Apocalypse. So that's the other one. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
That went faster than normal. It's because Adam's out here, because Matt didn't have anything. So I was that's what it was. I'm I was going to do other things. Okay. So let's raid somebody then. Let's see who's up.
Yeah.
Diesel Shot, you win. So we're going to go ahead and raid our friends at Diesel Shot. Thank you to everyone who hung out tonight. Thank you to those of you who threw out some subs earlier. Go ahead and follow the raid when it pops up. Have a great week. Check out the YouTube and all that kind of such. Good night.
Goodbye.